So we're back to talk about Zeta Toys ZV-02 Core Star, the third-party attempt at a Unicron. And this has been an argument for a couple of days now that has been so silly, but I like that now we have some new images, brand new, very clear images, as well as an actual full video showing this character and this design in its resin prototype stages. Now, if you want to go watch the full video, it's at Son of the Empire. It's a YouTube channel, and they got like literally every possible inch of this toy covered, and I'm very impressed by how well they showed every inch. And again, using that resin plastic also lets all those details pop, and oh man, the details are what make this great. Now, I still lean more towards the Hasbro one, but I can't deny all the Easter eggs that was put into this one that what I would have loved in the Hasbro one. And I'm going to get into that. First, I'm going to do the rundown at all the little details now that we have about this Zeta Unicron here. So again, the planet mode's jaw opens and closes. It actually is articulated, although they do have a extra piece that could be added to kind of give this open jaw that still shows like... It's kind of hard to explain because the actual opening and closing jaw doesn't look really nice. You kind of see the Unicron head in the center there, and it's very reminiscent of the old Orson Welles. I call it the Orson Welles Mango 1986 Unicron toy that never got released, where you could clearly just see the head in the center. It's very reminiscent of that when you open up the maw. But then they have like a fake plate that you could put in front of it that makes a much nicer open maw and everything like that. What's cool about that that fake plate, if you will, is that it also doubles as a stand for the Unicron. It looks really nice. It's a very nice touch. I'm not really a big fan of the little holes that are used that make like, you know, the part, but I guess that's just the way it has to be for the stand. I don't think there was no way they could have hit it and have it be really stable. It says here, transformation takes about 12 minutes. Now, the video that is shown is kind of sped up a little bit, but it does look pretty simple, the transformation. I don't want to say that it's more complicated or less complicated than the Hasbro one. It's just different, if anything. But otherwise, I mean, it looks pretty damn good if you ask me, the transformation. You know, it's not like trying to be something different. It's just trying to get the job done. I have no problem with that. It says their shoulders, waist, feet have die cast. I saw this in the video, especially so that, like, you know, the shoulder joints specifically are die cast. The waist joint is die cast, and they use die cast in some of the, I guess we'll call it the claw feet, to make it very like lower weight heavy, very bottom heavy, so that it doesn't fall over and it could do some crazy poses. I know they were showing some crazy poses that it could do, like it could do the Iron Man landing, it could do a side kick, and it could put all its weight and balance all on one foot. Again, because of that die cast in the feet. The spikes all over the figure are going to be very sharp, and some of them are going to have articulation. So that's pretty cool. I just hope they don't break. I'm always worried about that. They're going to be using hard plastic for the spikes. The HasLab one is going to be using a soft plastic. The crown, or aka the horns, are also going to be a little sharp, but they're going to be using soft plastic. Here's another thing that's interesting about the head area is the eyes are going to have LED lights, and the LED lights are going to be self-contained in the head. So if they want to, they're playing with an idea that they might have the head be removable, because the powering of the LED for the head is self-contained inside the head, so pretty much probably going to be the pill batteries. So there's no need for it really to have to be attached to the figure, and if they could figure out some way to make it detach and make it look nice, they will do it. Tons of articulation around the neck. It says the robot mode mouth opens and closes. Looks very nice. And that's what they talk about from the stats. Now then, when I watched the video, I was like, ooh, there's a lot of little details here that no one has talked about that are really like making me happy about this, you know. And I'm not saying that it's better or worse. I'm just saying I really appreciate what's being done here. You know, like again, I'm still on Team HasLab. I still have all my money tied up in that HasLab one, but I could be honest And I'll always be honest. I can be honest and appreciate what's really going on here with the Zeta that I really like. And in the video, they showed 2 little Easter eggs that I don't know if people caught on. And one of them is that if you open the chest and you then it's kind of funny. It's almost like a Masterpiece Optimus Prime, where the chest opens up and then there's the extra flap on the chest and there's all this molded detail. And all that molded detail is detail that was shown at the beginning of the 86 movie when they're just showing how the insides of Unicron function. And you see all the pumps and the pistons and all the circuitry, and that exact details from the 86 movie are shown here in the chest. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do some side-by-side comparisons to show those exact details. And then even more so, some hidden detail. There's flaps on the sides of his arms that when you open them up, they show even more detail. And what does it show? The iconic scene where the Autobots land inside Unicron and they're being chased by those like tentacles with the little claws on the end, and Daniel and RC and all of them are running from them. Like, they even have that scene represented in small little molded detail. And that is so cool. Like, that's stuff that I wish Hasbro did, because like, that hits me right here. That hits me right in the heart. Or it's like, oh, I love that kind of stuff. So that's really cool too. I mean, it still looks nice. I believe in the video, I just want to double check one thing here, because like there were some numbers. It seems that according to the video here, they put him on a scale and it looks like he's 2,145 kilograms. Now that ranges to about 4.7 to 5 pounds, which isn't too much, but I mean, I think it would actually be less if it didn't have all that die cast, especially in the feet, but it's still fairly heavy. To give a comparison, the original G1 1987 Fortress Maximus, which really at the time was just the heaviest Transformer that has ever come out, was about 10 pounds last I checked. It was about 10 pounds. And that's a heavy guy. You know, you could hold him up and you're like, oh, pretty heavy dude. And of course, we now know that our HasLab Unicron is going to be 19 pounds. So this thing isn't going to be outweighing Unicron anytime soon. But, I mean, it just gives you an idea of how heavy he is, too, despite the fact that he has all that die cast in there. So he still is kicking around at about, 4.75 pounds, if that 2,140 or so grams is any indication. I'm very excited about this. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm still going to get the HasLab Unicron. And after I get the HasLab Unicron, I'm going to look at this thing afterwards and see how the evolution of it, because the one good thing with this one is we all have time. We all could think about it. We could see it in person. Other people will then buy it one day. They'll do their reviews. You'll probably see it in person in people's collections, at shows. And it's not going to be super limited. This isn't a flash in the pan thing. So we'll have a longer time to think about it. Where the HasLab one, you really have a small open window. And that's it. And again, like this one here, the one thing that still gets me is I'm not a fan of how the rings are done and the wings. I mean, it's something they could probably change before the final product comes out, but I'm still not a fan of that. Like the alt mode still doesn't win me. The planet mode still doesn't win me over, where the HasLab one is just, they knocked it out of the park. And I mean, it's pretty obvious that, in the case of the HasLab one, the planet mode was intended to be perfect before they really worked on the robot mode instead of the other way around. My second thing that I'm worried about is now looking at this transformation of it and seeing where all the parts line up and everything, I'm kind of worried about how it's going to look with colors now, because I'm seeing some areas that when the figure is colored, it's going to look kind of weird in the planet mode. So kind of like the opposite of the HasLab one, the robot mode really is perfect, but I don't think they factored in a lot of things when it goes to planet mode, how it's going to work color-wise, because I think there's going to be some areas that are going to be miscolored. But again, I mean, let's be honest. Like, I think the way I see it is, if I get the HasLab one and I get this one, probably I'll leave the HasLab one maybe in planet mode. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd be wasting its massive height if I left it in planet mode. But then it also has a very impressive planet mode. And maybe I'll get this one and leave it in robot mode and show off all those cool little Easter egg accessories and stuff. I don't know. It's hard to say. Although this one, again, the estimated price has been between $250 and $300. Still not 100% yet. But this is still a work in progress and just creating so much fire and arguments among the fans. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, I appreciate what's going on here. I really like it a lot. It's one of these things that both the HasLab and the Zeta one, they're better in different areas. And again, those Easter eggs, those little extra molded details, that stuff just again, like, just wins me over. So let me know what you think. This is pretty cool. Digging this a lot. But again, I'm still gonna get the HasLab one, but we'll see what happens with, Protoman's collection and a third-party toy named Zeta.